कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन जशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी जमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन जशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी जमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन जशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी Jamuna tira vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Astuttara Satashi Srimad. His Divine Grace Śrīla Viśvanātha Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupāda ki. ISKCON BVD Founder Acharya Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupāda ki. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Astuttara Satashi Srimad. His Divine Grace Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura Maharaja Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। नदी मायपुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। समावित भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। Oh, glorious assembled devotees. Oh, glorious assembled devotees. Oh, glorious assembled devotees. Glorious to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10 and chapter number 72. This is the description of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was translated and commented by Hridayananda Goswami and Gopijana Vallabha Prabhu after Śrīla Prabhupāda left. So we may have only few purports. Mostly they have been derived from Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Jiva Goswami, all our and Śrīla Prabhupāda himself can be repeated there. This is the chapter of slaying the demon Jarasandha. This is the last of the episode, and that terminates Mahabharata, the battle of that took place in Kurukshetra. But now this is not in Kurukshetra, it is going to be played in Bihar. No wonder. Bihar is still in fighting mood. The slaying of demon Jarasandha. Why do we say Jarasandha? Jarasandha was a king and was king and inclined to even Brahminical quality, and everything was there, but yet he is considered to be demon. Why? He opposed Lord Kṛṣṇa. Anyone who is opposing Lord Kṛṣṇa is demon by nature. You may not use demon directly, but Srimad Bhagavatam can spell out, it's a social custom that even though it is truth, but you have to speak only palatable truth in social custom. But Srimad Bhagavatam is not a social literature. It is absolute. So this chapter describes how Lord Kṛṣṇa heard King Yudhiṣṭhira's request and then arranged for Bhimsen to defeat Jarasandha. One day, King Yudhiṣṭhira addressed Lord Kṛṣṇa as he sat in the royal assembly. My Lord, I wish to perform the Rājasūya sacrifice. In this sacrifice, people uninterested in your devotional service will be able to see firsthand the superiority of your devotees and the inferiority of the non-devotees. They will also be able to see your lotus feet. Lord Kṛṣṇa extolled Yudhiṣṭhira's proposition. Your scheme is so excellent that it will spread your fame throughout the universe indeed. All the living beings should desire that this sacrifice be performed. To make this sacrifice possible, however, you must first defeat all the kings of the earth and collect all the necessary paraphernalia. Satisfied with Lord Kṛṣṇa's words, King Yudhiṣṭhira sent his brothers to conquer the various directions. After they had conquered or won the fealty of the kings in their assigned directions, they brought back abundant wealth to Yudhiṣṭhira. They informed him, however, that Jarasandha could not be defeated. As King Yudhiṣṭhira pondered how could he subdue Jarasandha, Sri Krishna revealed him the means for doing so, following the previous advice of Uddhava. Bhima, Arjuna and Sri Krishna then disguised themselves as Brahmanas and went to the palace of Jarasandha, who was very devoted to Brahminical class. They introduced themselves as Brahmanas to King Jarasandha, flattering him by praising his reputation for hospitality and requested him to grant their desire. Seeing the marks of bowstrings on their limbs, Jarasandha concluded that they were warriors and not Brahmanas. But still, even though fearful, he promised to fulfill whatever desire they might have. At that point, Lord Kṛṣṇa discarded his disguise and asked Jarasandha to fight him in one-to-one combat. But Jarasandha refused, claiming that Krishna was a coward because he had once fled in battlefield. Jarasandha also declined to fight Arjuna on the plea that he was inferior in age and size. But Bhima he considered a worthy opponent. Thus Jarasandha handed Bhima a club and took up another himself, and they all went outside the city to begin the fight. After the fight had gone on for some time, it became clear that the two opponents were equally matched for either to gain victory. Lord Kṛṣṇa then split a small tree branch in half, thus showing Bhima how to kill Jarasandha. Bhima threw Jarasandha to the ground, stepped on one of his legs, and seized the other by his arms, and proceeded to tear him apart from his genitals to his head. Seeing Jarasandha dead, his relatives and subject cried out in lamentation. Lord Kṛṣṇa then appointed Jarasandha's son ruler of Magadha and released the kings Jarasandha has imprisoned. Text number 1 and 2. Śrī Śuka uvāca. Ekada tu sabha madhya asthito muni privratah brahmanaihi kshatriya vaishyaih chaturbhischa yudhiṣṭhira आचार्यैः कुलबद्धैश्च ज्ञाति संबंधि बांधवैः शृण्वतामेव चेतेषाम् अभाष्येद उवाचः। Sri Shuka Uvaca, Sukadeva Goswami said, Ekada, once, two, and Sabha in the royal assembly, Madhye in the midst, Asthitaha seated, Munibihi by sages, Vrittaha surrounded, Brahmana Kshatriya Vaishyahi by Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishyas, Bhratarabhi by his brothers, Cha and Yudhiṣṭhira, King Yudhiṣṭhira, Acharyahi by his spiritual masters, Kula of the family, Vriddhaihi by the elders, Cha also, Gyati by blood relatives, Sambandhi, in-laws, Bandhavaihi, and friends, Shranvatam, as they listened, Eva, indeed, Cha, and Etesham, all of them, Abhasyat, addressing Lord Kṛṣṇa, Idam, this, uvāca, ha, be said. Translation. Sukadeva Goswami said one day, as King Yudhiṣṭhira sat in his royal assembly surrounded by eminent sages, Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishyas, and also by his brothers, spiritual masters, family elders, blood relations, in-laws, and friends, he addressed Lord Kṛṣṇa as everyone listened. Yudhiṣṭhira vāca kratu-rājena Govinda Rājasūya-yajña pāvanīḥ yakṣye vibhūtīr bhavatas tat sampādaya na prabho. Yudhiṣṭhira vāca kratu-rājena Govinda Rājasūyena pāvanīḥ yakṣye vibhūtīr bhavatas tasmāt sampādaya na prabho. Yudhiṣṭhira vāca kratu-rājena Govinda Rājasūyena pāvanīḥ yakṣye vibhūtīr bhavatas tat sampādaya na prabho. Mothers, Yudhiṣṭhira uvāca. Śrī Yudhiṣṭhira said, kratu of major fire sacrifice, rājena with the king, Govinda, O Krishna, Rājasūya-yajña named Rājasūya, pāvanīḥ purifying, yakṣye I wish to worship, vibhūtīḥ the opulent expansions, bhavatas of yourself, tat that sampādaya please allow to happen, na for us, prabho, O Master. Translation and purport by his disciples of his Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda. Śrī Yudhiṣṭhira said, O Govinda, I desire to worship your auspicious opulent expansions by the Rājasūya sacrifice. The king of all Vedic ceremonies, please make our endeavor a success, my Lord. Śrīla Śrīdhara Svāmī states that the word vibhūtīḥ refers to Lord Kṛṣṇa's expansions, asman. And Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura further explains that here the word vibhūtīḥ refers to Lord Kṛṣṇa's opulent expansions within this world, such as the demigods and other empowered kings. Thus Śrīla Prabhupāda treats this verse as follows in his Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My dear Lord Kṛṣṇa, the sacrifice known as the Rājasūya-yajña is to be performed by the emperor, and it is considered to be the king of all sacrifices. By performing this sacrifice, I wish to satisfy all demigods who are your empowered representatives within this material world. And I wish that you will kindly help me in this great adventure so that it may be successfully executed. As far as the Pandavas are concerned, we have nothing to ask from the demigods. We are personally satisfied by being your devotees. As you say in the Bhagavad-gītā, persons who are bewildered by the material desires worship the demigods. But our purpose is different. I want to perform this Rājasūya sacrifice to invite the demigods to show them that they have no power independent of you. They are all your servants, and you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Foolish persons with a poor fund of knowledge consider your Lordship an ordinary human being. Sometimes they try to find fault in you, and sometimes they defame you. Therefore, I wish to perform the Rājasūya-yajña. I wish to invite all the demigods, beginning from Lord Brahmā, Lord Shiva, and other exalted chiefs of heavenly planets, and in that great assembly of the demigods from all parts of the universe, I want to substantiate that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that everyone is your servant. Om Ajnānatimirandasya Jnānanjanashalakaya Chakshulmilitanjena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantigam Vandeham Sri Guruho Sri Jata Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we know from this purpose of Śrīdhara Svāmī and then Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura to substantiate the purpose of performing Rājasūya sacrifice. It is the duty of the king that they should demonstrate by performing the most pleasing activity to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is His glorification, to substantiate Him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everyone is subservient to that. Ekale Ishwar Krishna ar sabhi bhratya jahara ichha hai abit nachave nritya. Whenever he desires, he will make everybody dance according to his desire. Jarasandha is an excuse, and he was supposed to be destroyed last. He is considered to be the demon here. What we see, that such an endeavor to establish, besides Lord Kṛṣṇa, everybody is subservient. And people at that time also, they were worshipping demigods and they were thinking that they are also gods. What we call Bahudevavad means multiple personalities can become God. Everyone should be addressed as God. What is the problem? They will think of that. Namo Narayana, Namo Narayana. This is also one of the indication that you are Narayan, I am Narayan. So I bow down to Narayan, that you are manifestation of Narayan. You are identical with him, so you are one with him. But Rājasūya-yajña will clarify that also, that there is only one Supreme Personality of Godhead. But others also have to be invited in order to declare that you are subservient, you are not independent gods. So what to speak of some person who gets little bit of little opulences, like 99 Rolls Royce, the cars very expensive, and Rajanish acquired, and he was calling himself God. Bhagavan Rajanish. Bhagavan this, Bhagavan that. Opulent one, a relatively better opulent than a poor Shudras who are absent totally in this Rājasūya sacrifice. Because Striyo Vaishya Sudras, they api Shrutina Gochara. But it doesn't mean that they are not qualified to obtain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is equally disposed to to them. But as far as Shrutina Gochara, they cannot be invited here, those who are of Shudra mentality, because they will not understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By establishing ISKCON, Śrīla Prabhupāda also performing 10,000-year-long Rājasūya sacrifice. To establish Lord Shri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was the first one, bold one, to put it through. And he never compromised with Hindu philosophy of hodgepodge, anybody and everybody, because there is no philosophy. It's a philosophy, Prabhupada would say. When Srimad Bhagavatam declares it, that echet chansa kalapunsa Krishnastu Bhagavana Svayam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his direct disciples like Rupa Goswami took up that as the Brahmavakya, as the main sutra. Krishnastu Bhagavana Svayam. And he wrote Laghu Bhagavatamritam just to nullify the arguments of Ramanujacharya, and there's a Narayana Parobhyaktat. Narayan is there, but for us, Krishna is the Supreme. Narayan is his Purusha-avatar. Varieties of avatars are there. Krishna appears in the form of Narayan. Say, Karanudakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, and their appearance is coming through, not from oblivious nature, but a secondary expansive sankarsha. So, how trickily, to establish Lord Shri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the demigods are his subservient. Day before yesterday, this was a question from one man. So Maharaj, you think that, I said, I do not think, but this is Srimad Bhagavatam tells, it's not a thinking pattern, it is the pattern of intellectually accepting the truth by all reasoning that Krishna is the Supreme. Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj was knowing that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is the mastermind of organizing this fratricidal war of Kurukshetra. He knew. He was not a recipient of Bhagavad-gītā separately. If you remember, when the treacherous game of dice was to be played, both Duryodhan and Shakuni approached in a friendly manner to Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj. Hey bhaiya, chalo hum shatranj khele. Means we will play the game of dice. Prabhupada said Kshatriya's nature is that whatever game that has to be played, whether it's a challenge, like a battlefield of challenge, they cannot deny that they will not be able to play. Yudhiṣṭhira was so much pure, he did not know any treacherous game. Neither he doubted Shakuni or Duryodhan that they are going to play dirty. He accepted with a very cool, calm head, without thinking what will happen in future or now. what will be the consequences. He did not consider the consequences. But Arjuna and Bhima, they were completely horrified. They came and argued. They came and argued with Yudhiṣṭhira. Hey, Bhaiya, you do not know how to play the game of dice, and certainly this must be a very treacherous arrangement to put us in the problem. You are inviting the problem. You are not thinking of yourself. That's okay, but why should you not think about us? You will fight just to support us, but both of us, Bhima and Arjuna, we will have to put our heart, sweat and blood in fighting. Why are you doing this? Knowingly. Yudhiṣṭhira was very calm. He said, all of us, 5 Pandavas, we have divine origin. You know that? And we have been given all the strength of all the, not only the demigods, but also Brahma and Shiva. And Lord Kṛṣṇa is our Lord and Master, and He wants us to fight. He has appeared to destroy all the demon and demoniac qualities. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkatam. And He wants to establish the dharma. Whenever there is discrepancy in observing the dharma, then there must be intervention of Lord Shri Kṛṣṇa, and He reorganizes in such a way that dharma will be always upheld. So don't you know that we are supposed to be an instrument in the hand of Lord Kṛṣṇa's desire? And they got shut up. Oh, we forgot that. So Yudhiṣṭhira is always a very composing, intelligent person. He will not get agitated by any circumstances. Yudhiṣṭhira, in the midst of opposite or what we call dual, he is steady in the resolve. He was the son of Yamaraj, Dharmaraj, and he has to show this caliber. Others are of lesser demigods, like Indra and Vayu. Arjuna was the son of Indra, and Bhimsen of Vayu. So, even though they have all divine energy, but here they are supposed to be on the side of Kṛṣṇa, because Kṛṣṇa was on their side. And it was confirmed so many times. Kṛṣṇa would just come only on the side of the palace that they were sharing with the Kaurava. Only in that time Kṛṣṇa has appeared. And he was, it was said that he was just like one of the members of the same family. He used to come any time and act as such a part of that family. So, this is the nature of Yudhiṣṭhira. And whenever the opportunity comes, and the best opportunity comes, when he becomes the king of the whole world. But then what about the general populace? How would they accept Kṛṣṇa? Because Kṛṣṇa was known only to 8 people, right?
Maybe more.
Eh?
Maybe more.
Maybe more. But who? No, no, you have to name it.
Over breakfast.
The breakfast itself is Krishna's mercy, so he must be knowing. Okay, but won't reveal you, right? So, Panch Pandava, they know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but except Yudhiṣṭhira, others were agile. And Yudhiṣṭhira had to keep his brothers in control. Right? So, it is the duty of the king to establish for general populace Lord Krishna's position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead very boldly. Very boldly. Prabhupada did that. Even most of us were exposed to Bhagavad-gītā and its teachings, but the way Krishna has been represented by the purports of Śrīla Prabhupada, with his personal conviction and the conviction of the disciplic succession, Prabhupada glorified Lord Shri Krishna as nobody else has ever glorified. When we were reading the terms like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Godhead means what? God has head. There must be head of gods. This word was completely confusing. But Godhead means there are so many claimants of this is God and that is God. Sai Baba and this and Baba. They put everybody into same position of, and they do not know what is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even by all reasonability and scientific way of explanation, a very logical way to explain that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, Arjuna has to spell out how he accepts Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Glorification is one thing, but acceptance of the Supreme Personality is another thing. Param Brahma, Param Dhamam, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam, Adi Devam, Ajam Vibhum, Ahustvam Rushaya, Sarva Devarshi Naradas Tatha, Asito Devalo Vyaso, Swayam Chaiva Pravishime. So, Sarva Meta Drutam Manye, Yadmam Vadasi Keshava, Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim, Vidur Devana Danava. Even the Danavas fail. Devas will fail your Supreme Personality. Alright? Arjuna is declaring, is not bluffing. And here Yudhiṣṭhira is saying, I want to invite the demigods. So they will know who is the Supreme. Everybody who is endowed with certain ability to do, but Paurusham Drushu, Krishna says, actually the ability is mine and I have given them. So in human being, I'm only one to be observed. That ability in human being is my opulence. So they got shut up and let it happen. The treacherous game of dice was played knowingly, and who will have to be suffered also knowingly. But who is remembering in such suffering or intensified miserable situation? Draupadi also has to realize that Krishna is the Supreme Person and I have to approach him only and not to anybody. So we see, to establish for general populace, Prabhupada did started performing Rājasūya sacrifice by establishing ISKCON. And therefore he laid down all the rules and regulations, reasonability, the proof. Guru Sadhu Shastra was proclaimed, and one has to refer before blurting out any statements. Real glorification is in activity performed to establish the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Kṛṣṇa. Ekale Ishvara Krishna ar sabhi bhritya, jahara ichha have tabe na chahe nritya. Only one Supreme Absolute Truth Personality of Godhead is Lord Kṛṣṇa, and everyone else is his subservient. Similarly, if we have to become Krishna conscious, the real Krishna consciousness will be only established if we remember Lord Shri Krishna, and we will perform all the activities that help us remembering. That is Navada Bhakti. Satatam smartavyam Vishnu, vismartavyam na jatu chet, sarva vidhi nishedhasya etayor eva kinkara. All the rules and regulations, all the sequence of other applications, starting from Shravanam, Kirtanam, then Archanam, Vandanam, Pujanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma. It is only to serve remembrance, Smaranam. Smarana Bhakti is more important because that is the cardinal principle of observing a religious path. Remember Lord Kṛṣṇa. If you do not chant properly, you will never remember, because you forget in chanting. And chanting is meant for remembering, serving remembrance. Hearing is also remembrance. Why do we hear? So the position of our reality means fragile status in the material world because of polluted senses. We struggle. We struggle. Just chant 16 rounds, but with total remembrance of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Sravanam will help. Kirtanam will help. To smara, help to remember. So other processes of bhakti that is being performed in the temple, that is also for remembering Lord Kṛṣṇa. So, antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram saprayati madbhavam jati natra samsaya. At the end of our quitting the body, then if we remember Lord Shri Kṛṣṇa, if we still have some speculation whether I will be able to remember, because the death can happen by all different means. In Kali Yuga, that has been happening by all nasty means that was not known in the Satya Yuga or Treta, so Dvapar even. Because everything is faulty. And these faults are coming, reverberation may take our life also. Go outside of the street and you never know. Our chances of exterminating our life are more exposed. So the point is, in Kali Yuga there are so many means of terminating the life. And in such a condition, overwhelming, because they are all physical in nature. There is no natural death in Kali Yuga. It's very rare to find person can get heart attack right after exercise. And the young people, we lost many devotees who were going to gym. They do exercise and as soon as they come out, they lie down flat, never to rise again. They drop dead. So, our life is very unpredictable, and remembrance of Krishna becomes also very unpredictable. But whatever our assets in performing devotional service during our lifetime becomes glorification of Lord Krishna and understanding subserviency of everyone, including Brahma and Shiva and all hordes of demigods. So this sacrifice of chanting Hare Krishna, Sankirtan Yajña, is the biggest Rājasūya sacrifice in Kali Yuga. Prabhupada is our king. He established that. Prabhupada acted like Yudhiṣṭhira. He knew that this is the yakṣye sankirtanam prahe yajanti sumedasas. This is Sankirtan Yajña, and those who are only having good intelligence left, they will worship this movement. But slowly, steadily, we have to keep our footstep in this Rājasūya sacrifice to establish Lord Shri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to show everything else is subordinate to Him. That is the first duty. So it is meant for common people so they can understand. Otherwise there are so many gods being sold in the marketplace of religion. So this purport is very, very identical to understand the desire of Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj and explained by Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura and Śrīla Svāmī in order to, understand the divine arrangement of establishing Krishna consciousness is the only sacrifice. So when we are part of it, then we must remain enthusiastic. So, such principles are also increasing our enthusiasm. So we have to accept and compare that in this material world, and time of hypocrisy and quarrel and struggle for existence, no other method can be so powerful to live a life of sacrifice, Rājasūya sacrifice. So I would like to stop here. Is there anybody any question? Yes, Prabhu.
Well, how are you?
What do you think?
Looking great. We all have faith and we have independence. Krishna knows past, present, and future. Does he know that we're going to become enthusiastic and chant nice rounds, or that we're actually going to maybe live in Braj or go to the Kumbh Mela? He knows all these things, but so what's the use of making so many endeavors if Krishna already knows that we're going to either be enthusiastic or lazy? I mean, how does that work? How does independence fall into this picture?
Well, if you see the quality of enthusiasm, when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj laid the ground for Gaudiya Math, Krishna consciousness was not accepted by elites, but common people who would have hardly little watery dal and rice to eat. And yet they were chanting for 8 hours simply because the spiritual master said so. 64 rounds. And when we had a little better facility, because Prabhupada thought, after all, implementation of Krishna consciousness would have good support, and my spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, told me to preach in English and go to USA to preach. Others have gone to Berlin and London, but he told me. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur also giving blessings that he spread the life and teachings of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in McGill University, Oxford University, so many universities. So understanding the full-fledged application of preaching Krishna consciousness, the ground has been already done. So because everybody follows the great American dream, and American dream is again now smashed by Donald Trump. They are deporting so many dreamers. So, what we see, that Prabhupada was very kind and lenient according to the lazy nature of this Kali Yuga, who would not be able to chant for 8 hours and eat watery dal. And so he put up opulences. When Krishna gives, why we should remain miser? Why we should remain miser? I know in early times, we used to get 60 pounds block of butter free from army surplus and bring to New York, and everything is made in ghee. And Prabhupada said, we offer, Krishna likes butter, we should offer, and we should make opulent prasadam. Good. People hooked up on prasadam. Completely reversed, but the purpose has to be served. How do I accept prasadam? Even in New Vrindavan, we were getting hot water. Must be very simple thing. Little adrak, salt and black pepper. But they will put chunk of butter in it. And I didn't know, but it was tasting good. But soon I became high in cholesterol and all of the, So the point is that somehow or other, by hook or crook, yena tena prakarana mana krishnam niveshe. So whatever circumstances Prabhupada was putting us, in the beginning there was some hardship, but Prabhupada never cared. America is the most opulent place, so opulence will come. So in this way, but the main purpose has been served. So it depends.
Maharaj, Krishna is all-knowing. He knew you were going to answer like that.
Krishna is all-knowing and he just keeps on smiling. Let it happen. Right? Does he interfere in our butter business?
No. We have independence of that.
No. So this is quite amazing, that how our movement has come about. It's really Rājasūya sacrifice. What do you think?
Amazing.
Amazing. Any other question or comments?
Sanjeev?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
I had a question. You talked about Lord Shri Krishna and Narayan, and a thing which confused me was reading the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Lord Shri Krishna instructs Uddhav, and he tells him to worship in his forearm form, deity form, in the chapter. Why does Lord Krishna tell Uddhav to worship forearm form, Narayan form, rather than the Krishna form?
Right. Because the confidentiality in his pastimes, which are supposed to be understood only through the eyes of divinity. Everybody may not be able to surpass even that requirement. Most of us are struggling in anartha nivritti. Divinity is not there, but Krishna's intimate pastimes with gopis, even though it's our highest goal, according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are not supposed to imitate. This is not a sahajiya movement. So both by what they call vidyam cha avidyam yastad vedopayam saha. There is avidya also and vidya also. Vidya depends upon our liberation. And then application after liberation is rati, asakti, bhava or prema. That is the entry. So Narayan form is only up to the awe and reverence, and not higher principles of interactions of our relationships. We have eternal relationship with Krishna, but in which way, we do not know. We can't enter. So unless and until we understand the awe and reverence aspect of Narayan worship, Prabhupada said here, Radha Krishna are there, but you have to worship in the form of Lakshmi Narayan. Why? Radaroga kama apanoti is not there, then we are not qualified to even understand Radha Krishna Leela. So Prabhupada was very strict. Here people, Radhe, they will call you. We said, Hare Krishna. Why Prabhupada is insisting so much on Hare Krishna? Hara is the internal potency. Understand the divinity aspect through becoming transcendental without interference of material modes. Parabhakti is on the transcendental level. And we are struggling right now. It may take bahu janma yadi kare shravana kirtana taputana paya Krishna pade premadana. We chant regularly, but then how many lives and how many births? At least we have to remain enthusiastic to get rid of this bodily conception of life. Even that we cannot do. So worship in awe and reverence, which is the primary stage of entering into the higher relationships, with Lord Kṛṣṇa because higher emotions will be there, higher. We may have coming out from our what we call mind, such emotions, but they have no value. They are reflections, not real. And they are only temporary, popping up and down. These relationships are eternal. So anyone, we have to understand and study through a bona fide directions. Prabhupada gave synopsis of all the internal bhajan. Even Bhaktivinoda Thakur also relates that in Jaiva Dharma. It is part of the Jiva's Dharma to enter into. But he also gives very restricted approach. So, we have to remain within our limits. We can't cross the boundary, otherwise the demon like Ravan can kidnap us. All right? Thank you very much. Jagadguru Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,